Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. What a great opportunity to have the anchors of the Roundtable, Ed Roberts from Bozard Ford Lincoln in sunny St. Augustine, Florida, Tully Williams out on the West Coast at the Nilo Company in Sacramento, joined today with Nick Lawrenson, who is with Alpha Drive AI. First time on the Roundtable. Nick, welcome, and Ed and Tully, welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nick, excited to learn more about Alpha Drive AI. Ed, you want to give us a little bit of color on some of the things, because we're all heading over to NADA next week. I'm sure we're going to hear a lot about AI on the way out there.
Well, AI has been the buzzword now for the last couple of years, and there's a ton of companies out there that has this cookie cutter approach that says, hey, we can put this in, we can do this, we can do that. The key is making it fit your store. And it says it right there underneath Nick is you can customize it to where it gives the inflection. It gives the things that drives back to your store to where it feels like it's someone that's connected with your store. And so there's that goes to show why they're the preferred vendor for Lithia, because it creates that consistency in all the different markets that they're in.
Ed, you've had some experience with call centers. In fact, you have a communication center at your store. Ed, I think it's very unique in the way you do that.
It is. We do not have a BDC per se because I don't expect them to generate business. So I call it what it is. We all need to communicate and communicate at a high level. So we call it a communication center. And if we communicate effectively, we're asking for the business as we communicate. So it develops business by communicating. But it's what we all miss is those elements of communication. And but there are still voids that we need to fill. And we've all had some great connections with AI, and we've all had some less than desirable connections with AI. And the deal with being customizable is if we do run into a speed bump and say, okay, well, hey, how can we go back and fix that? And we can prevent that from happening again.
Tully, you've got 10 rooftops. How do you do it with all those moving parts?
I think that, as Ed said, customizing is the biggest thing here. Phone calls are our biggest challenge. And everybody says, oh, we answer every phone call. No, you don't. Service answers, maybe it's 70%. If you're lucky, a service writer probably answers at 50%, and you hope your operator or your key input are answering at plus 90. Right there tells you how many calls leak through. Every time a call leaks through, a customer is frustrated, which means the conversation has to get more complex when they finally get to their destination. Yes, we have a BDC, but BDC picks up about 92 to 95% of all the phone calls coming in based on volume. As yesterday, we had 800 phone calls come in on a Monday. Monday is always the busiest day. And you got to remember, we had how many rollovers? We had 65 rollover calls, which drives me insane. And this is where customizing AI is that human and AI can work together to help our customers, right, get who they need to talk to faster or answer the information they need. Some people just need directions. Some people just need to know the phone number. Some people need to make an appointment, and some people, unfortunately, need to talk to their service advisor right away. So there's challenges, and I think that when you have a great AI product that we see here is that you can have that customizability to fit your store and your plan.
Nick, take us through it. Talk to us a little bit about the customization, because that's really unique.
Yeah, absolutely. So with AI, the objective with an AI or a BDC is to have a high appointment conversion. What you want to eliminate is a high percentage of transfers. Every time that customer gets transferred from one person to another person, a layer of frustration gets added. And so we want to eliminate the transfer as much as we possibly can. And in order to do that, what do we have to do? We have to customize. And so the items that we customize in order to maximize the appointment ratio are first and foremost express versus main shop. So making sure that we have a good understanding of those policies and the AI can properly handle booking an express customer and booking a main shop customer, or if there are more teams doing that as well. The second thing is recalls. Recalls can be a nightmare for dealerships. So we got to be able to handle recalls that can be scheduled, recalls that need to be booked 4 or 5 days out so that we can order parts, and then recalls that we can't schedule. So by doing the express and main shop, by handling the recalls, we have now eliminated the need to transfer those calls. And then the third thing, most important, is the 7 transportation options that dealers now have. So we have to be able to customize all the transportation options and handle all of them. So mobile service, pickup and delivery, all of these things need to be able to be handled by the AI. And what you will notice is if you're not allowing your BDC to handle it, or you're not allowing the AI to handle it, you take what would have been an 80% appointment conversion and you start chipping away at it until all of a sudden we're at a 30% appointment conversion, which means that we're transferring 70% of our customers somewhere else, which just creates a nightmare for the dealership.
Ed, you've seen a lot of this happen out in the real world, I know.
Absolutely. Well, a lot of times you go into a store and they're bragging that we answer most of our calls. We probably answer 3/4 of them, is what you hear them say. And the easy question to turn back around is if you had 4 kids and you only knew where 3 of them are at, would that bother you? You know where 3/4 of them are. And so it's important to answer all the calls. It's not important. It's not okay to say I'm good with 3/4. You only know where 3 of your kids are. All of our kids need help. All of our kids need guidance, and those are our kids calling in. So and when we can customize it to make it who we are, that's the ticket. That's where we win, and that's where the customer feels like it's seamless.
Tully, the transfers are a big issue in our industry, aren't they?
It's the worst thing on the planet because here's the thing. They call in, I want to talk to my service advisor. I'm the busiest service advisor on the planet. You can't talk to me right now. I have my crown on and I'm talking about something else. And then what happens? That customer gets frustrated. So I think that when you look at people calling us, we need to answer 100% of the time. 100% of the time. We need to answer that phone call and try to address that whatever they want 100% of the time. That's the frustration that happens with human beings because sometimes we can't man the phones enough if you get a call volume. If you have onesie twosies, no problem. But that's not the way it works in the phones. They all call in the morning, they all call in the afternoon because we don't do follow-up calls very well. That's what happens in this business. God bless America. But here's the thing that AI can help us with is fill in the cracks because every call that calls in, we should ask it, do you want to talk to your advisor, talk to the dealership, or do you want to make an appointment? The appointment needs to go away from the store. No matter who answers the call, is it a human being or an AI product, right? The issue is that then we have the calls that need to be at the dealership level, questions that are callbacks, or my car is broken, or you haven't called me back, what's going on with my automobile? Those are the things that would need to have answers. And if we answer them correctly the first time and quickly, everybody just relaxes a little bit. Our CSI increases. We have customer satisfaction. And ultimately, guess what we have? Repeat and referral business. And that, unfortunately, is the business that we're in. And I tell you, what drives repeat referral business down is not answering the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Nick, you mentioned some of the complex things when it comes to scheduling. You mentioned mobile service, pickup and delivery, loaners, recalls, and there's also more elements, as you know, shop capacity and so on. How should dealers think about AI handling those while making it frictionless and easy?
Yeah. So first of all, we want to not lose sight of the fact that the purpose of the call is to book the appointment. So there are some service departments that make things overly complicated, and I urge against that because we want to drive traffic. We want to get the customer in the door. My favorite service manager is the service manager that says, "Load me up, bring it on in." That's what makes a BDC and an AI company very successful. But when we do have these complex situations, we need to be able to either train the BDC department or train the AI on how to handle it. So when I say train the AI, that is foreign to a lot of people in the auto industry. Most AI companies are set it and forget it like it's a software system. We have to take a different approach to AI. AI needs to be trained. You have to put AI in a real world scenario so that the AI can make mistakes, and it takes 2, 4, even 6 weeks to get the AI perfect. But once we have the AI where we want it, it's the last BDC agent you'll ever have to train.
Nick, here you've got a big Single Point, Bozard Ford Lincoln in St.
Mhm.
Augustine, big retailer. Ed retails approximately 1,000 a month and does a great job with it. And Tully, as I mentioned, spread out in the Sacramento market with 10 rooftops. Where do you folks excel at Alpha Drive AI? Is it the single point? Is it the group? Is it both?
Yeah, well, the large dealers like Ed's dealer is gonna have the highest ROI because AI is usually a one price for the smaller dealer, one price for the larger dealer, same price. And of course, Ed's dealership's probably sending 5, 6, 7,000 calls to a company like us every month, and so they're going to have the biggest ROI. But I will say that AI, we excel with all dealerships, whether it be small, medium, or large size dealers. We can work with them all.
Ed, your thoughts on where we're headed with AI and where it's been and where we're headed?
Well, I think we've learned a lot with AI over the last, let's call it, year and a half. Last year really is where everybody's been this big push. And I want to spin that back to Nick a bit because next week we got this small little event called NADA, and everybody there will be talking about their element of AI. And Nick, what do you have for a demo there that we can come by and see and show some of the customization of what you guys do there?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. We are going to be unfortunately on the North Hall, but hopefully you dealers can make it over to the North Hall. And so we have a awesome booth. We've got 2 conference rooms set up within our booth so that we can do private demos. We've got kiosk stations set up so that dealers can come and make live calls to our AI and sample the AI so they can see what it's really all about. So come on by. We've got an awesome booth. It's by far the largest booth that we've ever had at NADA. So we're very excited to see everybody.
So you got to tell everybody that we're on the side where you have a little more room to move around. So don't be afraid
That's
to come over, stretch out a bit.
That is a great way to put it.
Yes.
And Tully, you've had a lot of experience with this, but from the service advisor's perspective, this can really help them with their time. And I know you have a very special group there with the folks and how you treat them. So maybe some thoughts on the service advisor's perspective of all this.
My big thing is making sure you have the right ratios. We like everybody to go home at 5 o'clock. 5:01, most of our stores turned into a ghost town. That's because it was well planned that way. Customers are happier, technicians are happier, service writers are happier. Nobody's stressed out-ish during the day. But the goal is going to be is that how do we manage our time and manage our advisors' time? Because they're the ones that have the most things in the air. And we don't want someone writing 30 ROs a day. That doesn't work for us. I don't want someone writing 20 ROs a day. Honestly, I really think it's great when they write up 8 to 12 ROs a day. Right? They can manage those. Some of those are easier, some of those are harder. But now this is where AI comes in. Whereas if we have phone calls, and some people want to be called, not text. Well, how do we get them back to the advisor? Because when the advisor calls a customer, he's 100% focused on that customer to let him know. Maybe he's texting him, say, here's the inspection, there's a tech video. When can I give you a shout? Call me now. Boom. No answer. Customer calls back 5 minutes. That rider could be somewhere else in the store, could be already on the next customer, and now they play phone tag for the rest of the day. Mm-hmm. And the issue is that's where we have challenges. And I would love, when you look at a person like that, is that, I'm sorry, I missed you at this very moment. Please give me a call back. You could even say my AI agent's going to hold it for me and make sure they can find me. Because you know what? A lot of times, what do? We put them to voicemail. Don't listen to voicemails very much. That's the end of the day thing we like to think about, that red glowing light that irritates everybody, right? Or we look at our email box and the email box, oh, I got 20 voicemails. What the heck's that all about? Why don't we serve that customer up to that person and say, Mrs. Jones is on the phone call. We'll put you on hold while we wait for you to handle it. So that customer can wait, knowing there's going to come. And then all of a sudden, the service writer appears and we take care of that customer. Maybe there's a 5-minute delay, but it saves us maybe a 2 to 3 hour phone tag event. And that usually does what? We don't fix the car. Person's frustrated. I need my car back. Give me more rental time, right? Because rentals are the devil, right? So the whole thing, it just turns into a shit show. How do we get AI to help our advisors be better managing their inbound calls?
So what I hear Tully saying is our advisors are busy. And if you think about that and you walk back to the service drive, they're never just standing there. They always have something going on. And but to the customer, they don't get to see those things. And this is what fills that void. It's what keeps it moving. And it becomes more seamless to the customer that they feel like they was given priority from the time that they reached out and then make that connection. So it fills the voids and it allows the advisor to complete what they're on so they don't leave something half done that they had to leave alone to take over something.
It's kind of like
Nick,
their AI assistant.
Go ahead, Tully.
It's just like their AI assistant, what Ed said, right? They need a little help.
Nick, I was going to ask you, what are some of the biggest mistakes you've seen dealers do on the AI side over the years?
Yeah, the biggest mistake that comes to mind is dealers set up AI and forget it. And they don't put the time and effort in to customize the AI. It's hard to believe, but we actually have to train the bot the same way we have to train a BDC agent. It takes time, and we've had dealers that will sign up to the AI, and we don't hear from them for 2 or 3 weeks, and we're trying to reach out to them. They're not getting back to us, and that portion of setting up the AI is probably one of the most critical portions. Is that first 2 to 3 weeks? We call it the burn down period, where we're really just working on the AI and how it's performing with the live calls, how the integrations are working. And we need that feedback. We need that feedback where the advisor says, hey, this customer is coming in too late in the afternoon with this type of repair order. We don't want that to happen, so that we can make the tweaks that we need to make on our side to perfect the AI. So really, it's just not putting the time into the AI.
Nick, what's the process? A dealer comes to you. What's the onboarding look like? Kind of explain that to us, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so we're unique in that with Alpha Drive, we have a 4-week setup time. So there's a lot of AI companies out there that promise a 48-hour setup. And there's service managers that ask us, why can't you do 48 hours? And my reply is, why would you want me to do 48 hours? So a 48-hour setup means that we're not customizing Express and Main Shop. We're not customizing recall policies. We're not customizing transportation options. So the way that we set up a dealer is we start out with a kickoff call, and we take pride in the fact that we do all the work for you. We're not asking you guys to fill out and write a book and send it back to us, because we want to get the implementations done as quickly as possible, and we know that's the best way. So we start off with a kickoff call. Once we complete the kickoff call, we then integrate with the scheduler. After integrations, we build the bot, and then we pass the bot to you, and you guys can do live testing at the dealer. So we give the dealer 72 hours to pass that number around to their service department, call in, harass it, try to break it. It's unbreakable. And then you guys get back to us with any changes you want made. And that could be changes to the name of the AI, the greeting, how it's talking about transportation options, all of those things. We take that feedback, then we update the bot, and then we go live. Once we go live, we have a 2 to 4 week burn down period where we're making sure that the AI is performing as it should. In order for us to get out of the burn down period, we need to be at a 55% appointment conversion, although we want to be at a 65. So that means 65% of the calls that the AI receives convert into an appointment, which is very high. It's actually higher than our live BDC, to be perfectly honest. And we want to get our transfer rate below 30%. And once we see the appointment conversion above 55 and the transfer rate below 30, we now take that bot out of the burn down period, out of the nesting period, and we put it into client success. And then we continue on with a monthly review call.
And this seems to be a pretty cool process.
Well, I want to touch on the mistakes that dealers make as well. The first thing that dealers do when they start looking at AI is, how can I eliminate this or how can I eliminate that, being people, rather than perfecting the system and getting the system to help those people become more efficient. So they look at it from the wrong angle. And I don't think there's anybody in our stores that we would dismiss if we made them 300% more productive. Mm-hmm. When we give them the right tools, we have the opportunity to do that. And so let's go at it through the lens of, how do we help our people become more productive in what they do and make them more effective at what we do. And as we do that, then that's where AI really gains the traction, and we don't have these burn down stories that we hear sometimes out there.
Tully, the customization was missing in the past, and Nick is talking a whole different story here by looking and addressing all these nuances during that period.
And what Ed said was spot on. That is the problem with AI in the beginning, is that we were told that fire everybody. In fact, you don't even need service writers. We'll put a terminal out in the service drive, and you don't need anybody. Well, you know what? Human beings love to talk to human beings. And I think our best asset at a car dealership is our human beings that do a great job every day. I want AI to help support those great human beings at our store, like Ed said. And this is where I think AI is evolving into it, where what's nice about what Nick has to offer today is we can customize it to what we want at our store to help our human beings be great. Because great human beings drive repeat and referral business. And that's the business that we are in. And I'm really excited about that.
Nick, the entire industry is going to converge next week on Las Vegas on the NADA show. Tell us what we can look forward to. Again, you're going to be over in the North Hall. You're going to be at booth 7019N North. Tell us what's happening there.
Yes, so we will be out there with, we're bringing 18 of our staff members. So we're coming fully loaded. We've got client success team out there. We've got our sales team out there. We've got our leadership team out there. We look forward to meeting all of the dealers, meeting with you guys, and we invite dealers to come out and test out our AI. Call into our AI with us right there and really try to break it, try to confuse it, try to get this thing to not be able to answer a question, and you will be amazed at what you see. We've got some amazing specials that we're going to be offering at NADA to give dealers a very low risk entry. So dealers can come, hopefully sign up with us, try out our AI, and we look forward to meeting you all.
Nick Lawrenson, everybody, with a company, Alpha Drive AI, going to be in Las Vegas next week. I'll be there. Sarah will be there. You'll see us with Nick as well. We'll be doing some interviews. Please put Alpha Drive AI on your very short list. And if you're not going to NADA, I imagine, Nick, we can visit you on the web. I see a URL scrolling, alphadriveai.com.
That's correct. Yep. www.alphadriveai.com. Go there. And from there, you can enter your information, and one of our sales associates will call you back right away.
Everybody, Nick will be back on the roundtable. We have a full year ahead, and look forward to hear about all the success stories. Nick Lawrenson, thank you for all you do for the industry.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Ed Roberts and Tully Williams, thanks for all that you do as well. Everybody, Nick Lawrenson with Alpha Drive AI here today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.